Joaquin Reyes just picked up a phone he hasn't touched in years, and by the time he hangs up, Dutton Ranch has changed completely. Did Beulah actually survive that collapse? What does Sheriff Wade need before he'll arrest Rob Will? And who exactly is on the other end of that call Joaquin just made? Let's break down the ending of episode 8. But before we get into it, if you're new here, I'd really appreciate it if you considered subscribing. We cover every twist in Dutton Ranch the moment it airs, so you're never behind on this story. Okay, let's rebuild how we got here, because episode 7 left us hanging on a genuine life-or-death cliffhanger.
In episode 6, we might
Beulah
see them getting
collapsed at the
closer to
10
each
Petal
other.
anniversary
But
party,
that is
clutching her neck and shoulder, and Everett rushed her into
serious
emergency
trouble
care,
for him.
fearing
We'll
the
get
worst.
into that in more detail when we leave.
Episode
Beulah
8
infected
answers
the
that
bull on
question
purpose in
almost
future
immediately.
episode. We saw Beth
Beulah
dealing with
survives.
much more
It turns out
difficult
what she went
though,
through was a heart
and kept
attack,
him as if
but she
he
pulls
never
through, and not only does
existed.
she recover,
Relationship between
she and
Carter
Everett
and
officially
old
become a
Rip
couple in the
Beulah
aftermath.
also has some very
After nearly
Beth and Rip
dying,
may be forced
Beulah
to kill
seems
part of
almost
the herd
lighter about the
to
ranch
stop the
itself.
disease from- Both
Like
of them
surviving put
will
everything else in
survive
perspective
or
for her.
Peyton, Joaquin
Except the one thing she
narrowly
refuses to
escaped
budge
getting
on is
out.
her succession
Maybe
decision.
Beulah and Everett were married at
She sits
Snat
down
Ranch
with both
as
of
well
her
as
sons
Beulah, but
and
Everett is
confirms
more
it.
than just a
Rob
vet.
Will is still her
Since
chosen
this
successor,
conversation happens
and
right
she wants
after they
Joaquin
talk
to
about
stay
Rob
to
Will,
support his
I
brother,
believe it's ended
to be
up
part
in
of this
such a
family
desperate
going forward.
situation was the coming
Joaquin is not
episodes.
interested in that
So
arrangement
yes, Beth will
at
do.
all.
Then there's Beth.
Meanwhile,
Beulah
Carter
knows
is dealing
she's
with the fallout from
intelligent.
his own
Hadley
meltdown
right
at that
now
same party.
Could become a
He
useful
finally
advantage
comes
for
clean to
women
Beth
for
that
this.
he dropped out of school,
Beulah has
because what he
already
actually
started
wants is to be a
investigating
cowboy,
the Duttons.
the way Rip and
Talking
John
about
Dutton
Jamie,
were.
I believe
despite
Beth won't be
everything,
able to
gives him the
complete every
chance, arranging for him to
episode
work
reveals enough
alongside
either.
Rip at Ten
Just
Petal.
like what happened
It does
in
not
her
go
Rip.
well.
Destroy them emotionally.
Carter forgets his gloves.
Levi out there.
He gets
and then,
thrown
you know,
from his horse
reality
trying to
kicks
stop
in,
a
and that
steer.
wound rips
He's
open
sick
at
right
Bob
there on the
Will
job.
and Chet's
And when
betrayal.
Rip tries to push
And
him
I already
through it,
told
Carter
Joaquin
snaps and
that
tells
people
him
with
he'll never
secrets
actually
are
be
the
his
best
father.
people to work
That's the
with.
kind of line you
She
can't
preached
easily
the
take
man,
back, and by the
that's
end of the
all.
episode,
But
Carter walks away from the ranch entirely, showing up
But
at
maybe
Sheriff Wade's office
the fact
instead,
that she tricked
asking for
Everett
a
into
job
coming
there.
to see her and
Whether
then
he
asked
means
him to
it,
retire
or whether it's just wounded pride talking, we don't know yet. But that's Carter's arc for this episode. A kid trying to prove something to everyone except himself. Now let's get to the part of this episode that actually changes the show going forward. Because Joaquin's storyline is where everything detonates. Joaquin has been carrying around a piece of evidence all season. The gun that killed Wes Ayers, Ten Petal's former foreman, back in the very first episode. He finally brings it to Sheriff Wade, hoping it's enough to get Rob Will arrested and out of his way for good. Wade tells him it's not enough. Without Wes's actual body, there's no case to build. And the problem is, Rip already disposed of that body earlier in the season. So the one piece of physical evidence that could close this out simply doesn't exist anymore. That's the moment Joaquin runs out of legal options. So he goes back to his truck, pulls out a burner phone from the glove compartment, and makes a call.
And then take a look at what could be
Necesito tu
coming
ayuda.
enacted
I need your help.
But episode
He's
4
calling
took
his
matters
biological
further.
father, Mariano
Then,
Reyes.
during their conversation,
If that name sounds
they brought up
familiar,
Sir Carter.
it's
We
because
found
the
him
show planted
completely
it all the way
removed
back
from
in
his
episode
mind.
3,
Will definitely
with a
help
short
him feel
but
better,
clearly
or
weighted
at
phone
least
call
fix
between
what's
Mariano
broken
and Beulah.
between. And I'm proud of him.
We didn't know what it
He's
meant then.
determined to become his
We
own
know
man.
exactly what it means now.
Yes, she's
Joaquin
one of the
has
villains
officially
of the
gone
story
outside the family and outside the law to deal with his brother.
But this comes with a
And
price.
based on everything else we learn in this same episode, that decision
I
might be
truly
more
believe
dangerous
that he
than
won't be
Joaquin
able to get over
realizes.
this easily.
Because while all of
It
this is
almost looked
happening,
like they could
Austin
actually
Lewis
beat
finally
by the
tells Rip and
final
Beth the
moments of
truth about the
episode.
Jackson
Even more
family
cattle were
business.
infected.
Ten Petal
Fairly
didn't
reasonable
survive the
reactions from
2010
their
drought,
family, being
the
one
one
of
that
the
wiped
people
out almost
capable
every other
of
ranch in the
stopping
area,
Beth and educated
because they were
guess.
better ranchers.
That's probably because
They
they're
survived
amazing
because they've been
actors.
smuggling cattle across the border for
Demons
years,
exist in the
using
first
forged
place.
paperwork to skip
So I'm
every
guessing
disease
that after the
inspection
end, I
along the
think we'll see
way.
a very
That
tense
detail matters more than it sounds
confrontation
because it
between Rob
directly connects to
He
something that
managed to get
happened
the
earlier this
strongest man
season.
at another
The
ranch
foot
in
and mouth
Texas
disease outbreak
and
that
tried to build
devastated
something.
Rip and Beth's own
Joaquin was
herd
also
traces
incredibly
directly back to
interesting.
this same
Whole
operation.
video on it.
The same
So
lack of
don't
proper
forget to
checks,
go
the
and
same
watch
corner cutting that's
something
apparently
about the
been keeping
timing.
Ten
Every
Petal
single
afloat the
thing
whole
about
time.
Beulah
We also
and
learned Wes
Ten,
had figured
so
this
he
out
just
before he
couldn't
died,
say no.
that he'd been
And
digging through the
Beulah
ranch's
knew he
tally
would go
books
there.
trying to
The
expose
blood test
exactly
results
this,
for the bull had
and
been
that's the real
falsified.
reason Rob
Beth
Will killed him.
and Rip's
So by the end of the episode,
we just got
Rip
through
and Beth
another
aren't just dealing
incredible
with a messy
episode,
ranch
and I'm saying
rivalry
this
anymore.
because we also know
They've
how
realized
Beulah
in real
and
time
Joaquin
that they've partnered
covered up
themselves
Rob
with an
Will and
organized
10
smuggling
Petals,
operation.
and she knows
The
that he
same
can do
operation that
whatever
already
behavior.
cost them their own herd.
She'll
Here's the
definitely
piece I
start.
want you to
And
actually
what role
sit
does
with,
Joaquin
because I
really
think it's the
play
most
in this
important
story?
detail in the whole episode.
He feels like the outsider
Joaquin
of the
calling
family.
his father isn't
Makes
just
me
a
think of
family subplot
Manchester
anymore.
by the Sea.
Multiple people
I actually
following this
think
show
these two are
closely
gonna
have pointed
end up
out that
seeing
Mariano's
Mariano
name
return
keeps
Carter's
surfacing
family.
right alongside this
And
smuggling operation.
It's obvious that
And
there's
while
more
that
going on
connection
between
hasn't been
Beulah.
confirmed on screen
In
yet,
episode 4,
it's hard to
after
watch this
talking about
episode
Boomed,
and
deep
not wonder
down,
if
I want
Joaquin
them
just
to be
called the
friends,
one man
but that
capable
doesn't
of
feel
running this
possible
entire
at this
criminal
point. Down their
enterprise.
cattle, so he doesn't
If
have
that's
to hear
true,
a creak every time
Joaquin
the
didn't
ranch
just
workers
ask for help
keeps
getting rid of his
better
brother.
and better.
He may have just invited the
Chet
actual
was
architect
extremely
of Ten
angry
Petal's
about
secret
Joaquin
business
pushing
straight back
more,
into the
and
heart
that's
of this
why I
family,
think episode
right
4
when
could
Beth and Rip are
easily
starting to
become
realize
an
exactly how
alliance
deep this
against Rob
goes.
Will.
So here's where everything stands,
Dutton
heading
Ranch
into the
is
final
slowly
stretch.
building the tension.
There's exactly one episode of
Most
Dutton
likely,
Ranch left
Rip will
this
first
season.
go to the
The season
after
finale
new
airs
animal
July
arrives.
3rd.
Rip
And just
himself
this week,
part
Paramount
is
Plus
exactly
officially
where things
confirmed
are
the
about
show
to
is coming back
spiral
for a
out of
second
control.
season,
The eye
which
while
tells
he
you
was
something
dying,
important about
and
how
he
this
knows
finale is
full
likely
well
to
that
play
the
out.
police did it on
The
traumatic
writers don't
for
need to
Carter.
resolve everything
Even
cleanly
though
in
he's
one
had his
episode. Whatever
bloodless
Mariano
should
brings
no
with him,
choice but to
whatever
put down
happens between
every
Joaquin
infected
and
animal,
Rob Will,
as well as who
whatever
dumped
Rip and
the
Beth
body on
decide
his
to do now
property.
that they know the
And
truth
if that
about
school
Ten
to
Petal,
work and use the
all of it can
situation
carry
to his
forward instead
advantage
of being
as well.
rushed into a
That's
tidy
sin.
ending.
And I think that's a perfect
So,
title for a story.
tell me
that
what you
digs
think.
deeply
Is
enough
Mariano
into their
about to walk
history.
back into this
There's
story as the
about
real
it.
villain behind
Blanchard,
everything?
Dwight,
And does Carter
Beth,
actually stick
and
with the
Rip
sheriff's
are
office, or does he
emotionally
end up right back at
remembered
Ten
him
Petal once
and
the dust
became
settles?
emotional talking about
Drop your
him.
predictions in the comments.
That made me.
I want to see your theories before the finale drops. And if you want the full breakdown the moment episode
Ready in
9
10
airs,
minutes.
go ahead and
And
subscribe.
remember, this ranch is
I'd
basically.
really appreciate having you
Of
here
course,
for it.
Beulah isn't the kind of
See you
woman
for the
who simply-
finale recap.
After losing